We're going to get started with Microsoft PowerPoint. When you start working with PowerPoint, you go ahead and launch the PowerPoint application, and we're going to come to the Backstage view, and we're going to go ahead and click on Blank Presentation. And this is where we've started with all of the applications that we've worked with. You can see that by default, you are going to come to a slide layout. Under the Home tab, if I go to Layout and click the drop-down, I can see that I have different layouts that I'm able to use. And so in this particular example that I'm going to show you, let's just say that I'm going to create a quick PowerPoint about Easter. So I'm going to go ahead and click in here where it says click to add title and type Easter 2020. And do I have a subtitle? Maybe I do. If I don't, I can click on that placeholder and then just press the delete key and it will remove that placeholder for me. When I'm ready to add a new slide, I can click on New Slide, and by default it will give me a title and content slide. And so with title and content, I can click and I can add a title. I'm just going to add family picture. For that, you can see that when I click on these different slides over here in my navigation pane, that I have different layouts. If I click on this one and click in the placeholder, I can see that the font is a size 60. If I click on the second slide and click in that placeholder, that font is a size 44. So it just depends on what you're looking for. You can always highlight those and readjust those. You can make the boxes smaller with the sizing handles if you want. So just be creative as you're working with your PowerPoints. You can spend hours working with your PowerPoint, but a good PowerPoint is consistent in its design and its layout, and it's not too busy. It's a visual presentation tool to add emphasis to a particular subject or topic, and it's not meant to detract or take away. And I think sometimes people get a little too carried away with colors and fonts and animations, and it just completely takes away from the whole message of what it is you're trying to do. So with this title and content slide, you can click on these little icons and it will take you to be able to add that particular object. So I have a table, a chart, smart art, 3D models, pictures, online pictures, videos, and images, or icons, excuse me. If I go back to pictures, this takes me to any picture that might be on my computer. I could also go to the Insert tab and I can do all of these same features, tables, pictures, online pictures, etc. from here. But I just want to demonstrate to you that you can do it from this placeholder. I'm going to click on Pictures, and I'm going to scroll down and find a picture on my desktop of my family from Easter. We'll insert that. Great picture. My family will love that. Design Ideas pops up. This is a new feature in 2019-2020, or I guess in Office 2019, Office 365. And it is really kind of nice because it gives you some different design ideas as to how you might want to use the picture that you have in there. So it is quite nice once you have your PowerPoint designed to be able to go in and just kind of jazz it up a little bit. I'm just going to click on the X to close it for now. The one thing that I want to talk to you just a little bit about is before you get too far into your presentation, you really need to decide if you're going to use a theme in your presentation. And the reason I say that is, let's just say that I choose to enhance this picture. So notice when I clicked on the picture that this picture format toolbar appeared, which because I have live preview, I can click the drop down and I can hover over some of these elements and it kind of just gives me some different ways to enhance that picture to make it look a little different so that it's just not this rectangle on the screen. And so I could go ahead and choose one of those if I want, and maybe I want it to have some color. So I can go to Picture Border and I could pick a color and add a color to that. You could go in and add some effects. So like we did in Word, you could add some glow color to it, or you could go in and you could bevel the edges if you wanted to, or you could go in and you could add some shadow to it if you wanted to. The reason I say, before you get too far, decide what you want to do for a theme or a template. I'm going to click on the Design tab, and I'm going to click back on Easter 2020. And again, because you have live preview, you can hover over these items and you can see how it's going to affect the objects that you have on your slides. So I could come down and click on this one and I could do the same thing, and it's going to show me how it's going to be adjusting things on my slide to make sure that the theme fits. So if you don't want to spend a lot of time having to go back and fix things, I strongly suggest that you pick a theme early on. You can also go out and find other themes. So you could go out and you could browse for a theme from Microsoft's website, or if you have one on your computer, you can use that as well. I do have one saved to my computer, and I'll just show you what I did. I went out to Google and I went ahead and I searched free PowerPoint, free PowerPoint templates. And I used the one called Free PowerPoint Templates, fppt.com. I clicked on that, and then I wanted to find something for Easter. So I'm going to go ahead and search for Easter. It's going to pull up some different templates. I can click on those templates, and I'm able to see what it's, kind of what that's going to look like. If that's not the one I like, I can click back. I'll just go ahead and click on this one. And so if I wanted to use this particular one, I'm just going to click on download. It's going to download that and save that in my downloads folder. And then when I go ahead and work with my PowerPoint, I'm able to apply that to my PowerPoint. So there are lots of different templates out here. If you were searching for something for computers, you can find all kinds of templates out here that will allow you to give you a background for a computer, and it will show you the slide previews that it has for it. So don't be afraid to utilize some of those things. Okay, so getting back to my PowerPoint, I'm going to go ahead and browse for that one because I saved it out to my computer. It's on my desktop, and I'll just apply that. So there's my template that I've applied. Notice with family picture, you might have to do a little bit of adjusting on some of your placeholders. If you don't think that they look quite the right way, you can go ahead and do that. So now any slide that I go ahead and add, if I want to do a new slide, let me pull my tabs and commands back. If I choose new slide, then it's going to give me the next slide. If I like that layout, fine. If I want to change the layout, maybe I just want it to have the title on it and then I'm going to add something, I can do that. It says click to add title, and so maybe I'm going to call it food. Notice how that's black. Probably not going to like the black, probably going to need to change that font color to white so that I can see it. But you get an idea of how you can add a template to your presentation. So with this video, I just wanted to show you the different types of layouts that you have available to you. So if I clicked on this slide and I went to change the slide layout, it's going to change it the way I asked it to. If I want it to go back to a title slide, I can click on that and change it to a title slide. If I don't have a subtitle, I need to make sure, since I'm using this template, that I delete any empty placeholders that I'm not going to use. Maybe I like the layout of a slide. Maybe I don't like the layout of another slide. So I can right-click on this slide and I can choose to delete it. Maybe I liked this slide. I could right-click and I could choose to reuse it. I do this a lot when I create my PowerPoints. I reuse them a lot just because I am working with so many different classes, and so I want to be able to, you know, reuse a slide if it's going to be helpful for me. So you could also duplicate a slide. So now I've duplicated it. Now maybe instead of family picture, I'm just going to go out here and I'm going to search for a different picture. I don't even know what I have on my computer. Well, maybe I'll just throw this one of my brothers in there. So I can go ahead and I can delete this picture, and then I could go ahead and I could resize this picture so that it's in there. I wouldn't even really need this text box, so I could click on that and delete that, and then I have a different picture in there. So you kind of get the idea as to how you can go in and just do some basics with your slide layout using new slides. And you can also, you know, add pictures to your slides.